I think I feel like an outsider in sound art and the art world, really. Not necessarily in a bad way, you know. If you call yourself a sound artist instead of a producer, it kind of opens up a whole different world of kind of conceptual ways of making things. Although I do sort of call myself an artist, it is sound really that really excites me and that I'm really interested in. Once it's left the speakers, you've no control over how someone's going to receive that and what it's going to mean to someone else, because it's such an abstract thing that you're pushing out, and it will connect with different people in different ways and stuff. It just came together from trying out different ways of modifying records and what sound you would get from that. The set has an overall shape because I know I've got to build it up once and then drop it down and then build it up again. But within that I can improvise with how things sound and where things kind of come in and out, and it's kind of improvised to a structure really, you know, which is kind of really fun. The building of the instrument basically is the composition really, you know. I interact with it in different ways as well, but how I put the parts of it together is so much affects what sound comes out the other end. If I forget something, then it's a disaster really, which has happened. Like I can see, for some reason more than usual, it seems to be leaning to one side, and that might be just because all the blocks are slightly uneven, so if they all happen to be slightly uneven in the same direction, it affects it more than I'd like it to. But then that's just something that you don't have to work with as part of the performance really, which, you know, you're not going to get with a computer because it just does what you tell it to properly straight away. So that's normal, and then I can put the MIDI on. And one of the most common comments from people is, why bother? Why would you bother doing that? Have you never heard of Ableton? Is the hilarious comment I always get all the time. For me, it's really obvious why you would bother, because you get totally different results. I tend to use a lot of, not necessarily obsolete, but kind of second-hand and thrown away stuff, and recycling stuff, I guess, which seems to be like an important part of my work. I don't know, it's just been kind of slightly obsessed with collecting things and just having something to hold on to, I guess. A neatly organised folder of files on your computer doesn't have the same kind of tangibility as having something physical. I use quite a lot of tapes, and in particular like recorded tapes, and generally what I'm looking for is someone's voice, or just something interesting, like, because it's something that doesn't happen so much now, to just pick up a tape recorder and start recording your own voice into it for whatever reason, and you do find really interesting things. So this one says Chicken Song on it, and this one says Chemistry Exams. Not a chemistry exam now, is it? This Walkman is my actual thing that I listen to music on when I'm out and about. Well, it is less high fidelity, but then there's something in the tape hiss as well, you know. And I think if you're walking the streets of London, you've got all the traffic going past and all the kind of noise and things anyway. A bit of tape hiss, you just forget that it's there after a while anyway. I don't know, listening is as much about ignoring sounds or blocking sounds out. A lot of the sounds that I use are things like tape hiss and record crackle. It's about selective listening, I guess, as much as it is about paying attention. You're kind of ignoring sounds as well. So I think it's nice to just kind of be aware of that and be able to sort of play around with these things, you know. In my previous sort of live setup was so complicated, and I have to hire a car to take all this stuff with me to kind of set up and play, and I was just thinking, wouldn't it be nice to just be able to do a laptop set? And furthermore, wouldn't it be nice to not have to rehearse or practice or anything, or even particularly play anything, just turn up and play a computer game, and what it makes is a kind of composition or some music. I guess it's kind of a silly idea in some ways as well.
Come and feel my energy.
I'm aware that it's a kind of stupid thing to do, but at the same time I'm really interested. So you can sort of make a beat, you can interact with other characters as well. So the scientists, normally when you would interact with them in the game, you would hear their voice as they speak, but I've kind of changed those to sort of stabs and things. So and an interesting thing I found out when looking at this a bit more is that the way that the character's face kind of moves depends on the waveforms of the sound that are going to it, so it actually looks like he's making those sounds, which I think is really funny as well. You can control it to some extent by choosing how you interact with your environment. When you enter a different acoustic space, it changes the reverb characteristics of the sound source, so it kind of does work like a sequencer really, and then it adds effects onto the top after. You can hear there, it sounds one way. As soon as I go around this corner, it'll sound quite different with the reverb. like it when you die, but the sounds carry on, so you can still interact with the environment after you're dead, which I think is quite good. And some of the, I mean, here you've just got the hi-hat in the kind of reverberant chamber, but some of them you have quite a lot more interesting soundscapes going on, because there might be other characters walking around, there might be some kind of battle scene carrying on after you've died, or there might be various drones and various sounds coming from different objects and things in the environment. Yeah, there's a weird sort of tension which I hadn't anticipated. So when you play computer games, you I suppose put your kind of morals to one side, and you know you'll happily beat someone to death with a crowbar, but it didn't occur to me that doing that in front of a live audience would be quite shocking to some people actually. Someone said to me afterwards, like you know, they were kind of on the edge of the seat as to whether I was going to beat the scientist up or not, you know, and it's quite brutal as a computer game, you know, and you're shooting people and hitting people and things. I felt quite self-conscious really to be, because despite having the shield of the laptop screen between you and the audience, you quite kind of normally I've got a lot more gear there in front of me that's distracting people's attention from actually looking at me. So I felt like people were more eyes on me and more kind of paying attention to what I was doing. Electronic music and sort of minimal techno and stuff can be a bit serious and kind of po-faced, you know, and I guess like sound art in some ways can be like that as well. It can be quite literally academic, you know, which is fine, but I think it's quite nice to have a bit of a sense of humour as well. And try chicken sandwich quickly. Yeah, it's just music, unfortunately.